Hey guys, welcome back. And if you are new here, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to give you some insight on how we started our journey over a year ago. We didn't retire early because we figured out some secret. No
No
secrets
siree.
here. A big part of how this started for us was simple. We just got rid of most of what we owned, and it's not like we cleaned out a drawer or two and called that minimalism. That would be easy. We're talking furniture, cars, the whole setup, almost everything.
And here's something we'll tell anybody thinking about this. At some point, you realize you're not even attached to most of it. You're just used to it being there. So if you've ever thought about downsizing, breaking out of that normal cycle, and you're just curious maybe if a simpler life could actually work for you, you definitely want to stick around for this because this is where minimalism starts to mean something different than what most people expect.
Minimalism isn't about getting rid of everything or living in an entirely empty space. It's just cutting out what you don't really use so life costs less, feels simpler, and your life isn't constantly weighed down by everything you have to manage.
Mhm. And most people don't realize how much they actually own. When you really add it up, it's kind of insane. Over a lifetime, most people end up owning hundreds of thousands of things. And you actually start to really feel it the second you try to change your life or move in another direction.
And it's not just the stuff, it's everything attached to it. Every item has a cost. You store it, you clean it, you fix it. Sometimes you have to replace it. And even if you're not using it, you're still paying for it somehow. Most people aren't stuck because of one big decision, it's all the small ones that just keep stacking up.
Now, most of the stuff that you own, you don't even actually probably use it. You just rotate it around, move it around the house over and over again. The rest just sits there. And it's not sitting there for free. Bigger spaces, higher bills, more maintenance. You're paying for it, whether you think about it or not.
And the more stuff you have, the more decisions you have to make every day. What to wear, where things go, what needs fixing. It's small stuff, but it adds up mentally.
Now, this one hit us, and it's a lot. What we owned wasn't about need, it was more about who we thought we were supposed to be. Maybe we're just bored. We're trying to keep up with everybody else. I think a lot of people do that. Stuff for a life we weren't even really living. Now, this is for you if you ever wondered what could minimalism actually feel like or thought about making a real change.
Most people don't have a money problem. They have a stuff problem. It started pretty simple. We looked at what we were spending every month and realized we weren't stuck because of one big thing or decision. It was 100 small things.
Mortgage, insurance, cars, storage, stuff we barely use, subscriptions, random purchases, things you forget about in 2 weeks. It all stacks up. And let's be real, Amazon makes it way too easy to just click and buy things you really don't need. And when we added it up, it was kind of shocking how much our money was going toward a life that we weren't even really enjoying that much.
Honestly, it's crazy if you think about it, how much you just spend on maintaining your lifestyle. Really think about that for a minute. That's the part that hits hard. You're paying for a life you don't even want anymore.
So we started selling things. At first, it was easy clothes, small appliances. Then it got a little bit harder because you're not just selling stuff, you're actually letting go of a version of a life that you used to have and all the memories that come with it, like old photos you forgot you even had, a hoodie that you used to wear all the time. Or little things that you'd pick up along the way and suddenly remember exactly what life felt like back then.
So we eventually got it down to two carry ons and two backpacks each. Plus, if we're being honest, still probably more than we need. At least I think so. Kenda can't get it down pat yet, but
I'm,
we're working on
I'm working on that, guys. It's
it.
hard. And our house. Now, we are renting it out right at the moment. We didn't sell it. That was a bone of contention for me. We're holding on to it for now because it actually brings us in a bit of income while we're doing this. And honestly, one good thing about that, we had to completely empty it before we could put it on the market. So that forced us to let go of a lot more than we probably would have on our own, or at least me.
Now, you know me, I won't sugarcoat it. It feels weird. There's a moment where your place starts getting emptier and your brain goes, "What are we doing?"
I had that moment a few times. I remember sleeping in our house. It was completely empty. We had sold everything. We had just our mattress and our empty living room floor. I'm thinking to myself, did we just make a huge
That
mistake?
went through my mind.
What if we need something later? What if about that just in case voice inside your head? Sometimes it's really hard to ignore.
Especially for us, we grew up being told to build something, hold on to it, and be responsible. This goes against all of that. So, yeah, it feels wrong at first, but if you push through that part, it actually starts to get quiet.
Yes, it definitely does. Like, but mentally quiet. There's no constant fixing of things, organizing, upgrading. Weekends just feel different. You're not managing your life, you're actually living it. And that's when it hits you. Life feels a lot lighter on the road.
Early retirement isn't about saving more, it's about needing less and actually getting the most out of what you already use. If your life costs about $5,000 a month or more, you need a big cushion just to manage that. But if you can get it closer to $2,000 a month, it suddenly doesn't feel so out of reach anymore.
And minimalism is what lowers that number. Smaller spaces, fewer bills, less maintenance, less random spending.
And when that number drops, your timeline finally changes. You realize you don't need as much, you don't need as long. That's when this stops feeling like a dream and starts feeling possible. And it's a great feeling.
The decision to retire early and slow travel didn't happen all at once, I promise you. It wasn't like we woke up one day and said, we're done. Maybe he did. It was more like a bunch of small realizations over time. We kept comparing the life we were maintaining with what actually took to sustain it long term. And it just didn't feel worth it anymore to us.
So the more we simplified, the clearer it got. We didn't need as much as we thought to live comfortably. Took a little convincing for Kenda, but once she got there, it was awesome. And we didn't want to spend years just maintaining more. So slow travel made sense to us. Not rushing, not recreating a home life somewhere else, just moving slower, spending less, and seeing what life feels like without all of the excess.
But we didn't start there. We just started cutting costs, letting go of stuff, and noticing how much lighter everything felt. And that's the part people don't always see. You don't have to have it all figured out first. You just have to start simplifying enough that the next step becomes more possible.
When we finally started traveling, we realized you really don't need much. We probably use a quarter of what we carry, and the rest is just in case. And just in case could get very expensive.
Mhm. Now, the lighter you are, the easier everything gets, right? It's cheaper, it's simpler, it's more flexible. You stop trying to recreate your old life and you actually start living a new one.
So you're not just getting rid of stuff, you're letting go of the idea that more stuff equals a better life. And yeah, that's uncomfortable at first, but then it flips and life just feels better.
And you're not chasing stuff, right? You were chasing a feeling.
So this lifestyle and decision isn't for everyone. Some people like their stuff. Some people need it. We get it. But if you're thinking about slow travel or early retirement, this is the first real step because the less you need, the easier it is to let go.
And all that money tied up in stuff. That could be your starting point. You don't have to go extreme, just start small. One drawer, one closet.
And we promise you, it does get easier. Then one day you realize you don't really miss any of it. Cleaning house actually changes your life.
Mhm. Don't miss that. Now, you're not just clearing space, you're clearing noise. And when that noise is gone, you can actually start to think. And that's when new ideas can show up.
Then you start to think, could we travel? Could we live differently? Those thoughts don't show up when you're buried in stuff. Minimalism doesn't fix everything, it just gives you more room to move and think.
And once you can start thinking clearly, things start opening up. You don't need a whole new life, you just need space to see a different one.
So minimalism isn't one version. It looks different for everyone. It just needs to move you closer to the life that you want.
And yeah, I'll confess, it can be uncomfortable at times, but sometimes you actually need that to push you forward.
Because, like we said, once you actually start, things move faster than you think. And that's when it clicks. This isn't about less, it's about something different. At first, minimalism feels like you're just taking things away, like you're limiting yourself before you even really get started.
Yeah, it feels like you're making your life smaller on purpose. And that's usually where people stop thinking about it because it actually sounds like giving things up instead of moving forward towards something greater.
Man, I do miss that Amazon driver ringing my bell every day. I'm sure Kendall loves that too. But anyway, once you start, you don't feel like you're losing anything. You just feel less stuck and you start noticing things you didn't before. How much time goes into managing your stuff,
Hmm.
how much money disappears just by maintaining that lifestyle.
I can honestly say, even daily life feels lighter now. There's less noise, easier decision making, and that's where it shifts. It stops being about what you're giving up and it starts being about what can open up in front of you.
This is the part we didn't fully understand until we were in it. It's actually doable. We're not talking about extreme minimalism, just being honest about what you actually use and letting go of the rest over time. And we're living proof of that. We didn't have it all figured out. We just started.
For anybody thinking about early retirement or slow travel, that's the key. It's not just about saving more money, it's about needing less to begin with. And once that changes, your options change with it.
Not overnight, but enough that things you thought were far away don't feel impossible anymore. And honestly, it changes how you think about your whole life.
Mhm. And that's usually when it starts to click. It wasn't life holding you back, it was just too much in the way to see another path.
And that's really what minimalism comes down to. It's not about nothing, it's about removing enough weight so you could actually move, travel lighter, cheaper, and without everything tying you down. So I'm curious, what would be the hardest thing for you to let go of?
Good question.
And what are you really holding on to that you probably don't even need anymore if you think about it? Drop it in the comments and let us know.
So, we're sitting in a hotel room in Thailand right now, if you couldn't tell. So, you know, this isn't just some theory, it's something that can actually be done. Because minimalism isn't about nothing, it's actually about things that matter. Less stuff, more life. Now, we hope this was helpful, at least enough of it to get you started if you've been thinking about it. And as always, guys, keep exploring,
Keep inking,
and
and
we'll
we'll
catch
catch
you
you on the
on the next
next one.
one.